Okay, so I'm here with Annie Costable. She
Yes.
works with us at the Sun-Times, and this is a whole new series called Working the Story.
Yep. Well, as Chicago knows, Loyola is headed to the Final Four. I think it surprised everyone. But once they got on that roll, it really wasn't surprising anyone. Everyone just totally bought in to the hype that is the Ramblers. And I've been covering it from the local angle. Our reporters, Maddie and Steve, have been out on the March Madness trail, but I've been sticking right here in Chicago covering the students and the campus and the watch parties.
How has this Loyola story been going for you?
I think it's really interesting because habitually the Chicago media don't really cover Loyola. For the first 20 games or so, it was just the student journalists and the press conference after. And now, we're all here.
You're having to kind of compete with a lot of other outlets, making sure that your mic is on the stand, making sure that you're getting the shot. How does this work for you? Because you're out here by yourself.
I think you just got to be a boss about it. I mean, we're journalists. We know what it takes to get a story done. And so this is no different, especially in the sports world. I think it just takes that attitude of like, I belong here too. We need to get this story told just as much as everyone else does. And if you come into it with that mentality, then no one can mess with you.
I love that there's a game happening on the court, but there's also a game happening before and after.
For sure. We got to get over there to cover Coach. He's about to come out. And you'll see everyone will scramble, hit record. It'll be a madhouse here in a second.
Okay, now I know that Sister Jean is pretty magical, but maybe you're the magic. I mean, isn't this like the first big story that you've really covered from beginning to?
Maybe. It might just be me.
As soon as the buzzer hits, are you trying to get your story published? Like, what are some tricks? What are some things that we don't know?
Throughout the entire game, you're taking notes and you're kind of looking for anecdotes. I usually start writing my game story at like the 8-minute mark in the second half.
It is fun to be at these different events, but what people don't see is there's so much that goes into getting the perfect shot, making sure you ask the right question, just the little things that when they see your story, they don't think twice about, but you have to think 100 times about just to make sure it gets done right.
When you're watching a game, what are you looking for that's maybe not typical?
After a moment like clinching the Final Four, I'm looking for facial expressions. I'm looking for moments between two friends who are teammates, or a coach and his family, as he goes piling in and disappears into a sea of hugs. The nerves are all deadline oriented. We post as soon as the game's over what we call like a buzzer story.
Right at the buzzer, you have to click send and tweet it out and put the alert out. When there's a minute left, every single beat reporter is sitting there just typing away on their computer.
So you kind of, if the game's close, as Loyola's first three were, you don't know who's going to win literally until the last possession. You kind of have to have two stories going.
Oh, easily the best part is the atmosphere. I mean, you're part of history. Being a part of those moments that you see inspire different people from across the city is really, I think, the most special part.
Now, if Loyola does win, does that mean you're not going to come into the Sun-Times office for like another week?
I can't go on the record about that.